Welcome to the Bring Your Product Idea to Life podcast. This is the podcast for you if you're getting started selling products or if you'd like to create your own product to sell. I'm Vicki, a product creation coach and Amazon expert. Every week, I share friendly, practical advice as well as inspirational stories from small businesses. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this episode of Bring Your Product Idea to Life. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching rather than listening to this, you might see that I'm recording in a different location. If you're just listening, honestly, you're not missing out on anything, so don't worry about that. So what I wanted to do in this episode is update you on a few changes that we've seen on Amazon over the last couple of months and a few things that are coming up, because there's actually quite a lot going on, and I just wanted to share it with you. So let's start with something that's already happened that you'll already be aware of, but it's worth flagging, which is that this year Amazon's Prime Day moved to June. So it's usually in July, but this year it actually was held from the 23rd to 26th of June. It's been flagged as the biggest change in the event's history. I don't know if that's true. That seems a little bit dramatic, but that's what's happened. We don't know yet whether it will stay in June or move back to July for next year. But yeah, watch this space. As soon as I know, I will let you know. So now let's talk about a few things that are happening that are potentially quite exciting. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was virtual bundles. So what a virtual bundle is this is grouping 2 to 5 of your own products that you're listed on Amazon as separate listings into one listing without physically combining them. So previously, if you wanted to sell a bundle, so let's just say, for example, just as an example, that you sell hair care products and you wanted to bundle a shampoo and a conditioner. Up until now, you would have had to physically package that shampoo and conditioner together. So whether that's shrink wrap them together, put them in a box, whatever it is, send into FBA, label them separately because that would be its own product, its own listing. So it would need its own barcode. Then Amazon could dispatch it to customers. So what virtual bundles are is you would send your shampoo and conditioner, if we're sticking with that example, to Amazon as separate products, exactly as you do now, but you would set up a virtual bundle listing where a customer could buy that bundle. Amazon would pick those 2 separate products and send them into the customer as one order. This has been available in the US for years, and the UK rollout has been a little bit patchy. But from what I'm seeing, most people now have this. You can check if you do by going to the brand section in Seller Central, because you do actually have to have a brand registry to be eligible for this. Other requirements are that your products are all fulfilled by FBA and all items have to be in stock. So if you're offering a bundle of 3 products and one of them's out of stock, that bundle listing won't actually show. And where listings do show, just so you're aware, is that on the listing page for any of the individual products that are in that bundle, if a customer scrolls a little bit down, they'll see the bundle listing and they'll see what other products they could get. And by the way, just to be clear, I've been asked, do you have to offer the bundle at a discount or can you offer it as the same price as buying all of the products separately? And the answer is it's either. So the bundle price is whatever you want it to be. So it could be the price of buying the individual products separately, or you could choose to offer a small discount, and that's completely up to you. But I think this is a great way of grouping products together for customers while still sending them into FBA separately. For years, people have asked me if they can, if Amazon can create bundles, and unfortunately they haven't been able to. But I think this is going to be really, really good. I think particularly, as I say, if you have products that work really well together or are frequently bought together, I think this is brilliant, and it could definitely help increase your average order value. So that's definitely something to go and take a look at. Something else that I wanted to bring to your attention is some new returns tools. So FBA partial refunds is a new alternative to a standard return. And this basically lets you offer eligible customers a partial refund, which you set per SKU, by the way. So you don't have to give the same flat refund for every product. And the idea is you offer the customer a partial refund to keep the item instead of sending it back. And I say you offer. What happens is that you will set in your FBA settings, you will set up partial refunds, you will set the discount you want per SKU, or you can do a blanket discount on everything. And then if a customer asks for a return, Amazon will automatically offer them that discount and allow them to keep the product. So this is now live in the US, the UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. Know that hazmat, hygiene items, and other sort of non-returnables are excluded. So if you have products that are non-returnable anyway, they will be excluded from this. partial refunds still count towards your average return rate. So they won't protect you from a frequently returned badge if that's something you've ever encountered. And you also obviously don't get inventory reimbursement because the item doesn't come back. But it can make a lot of sense for low cost items if the cost of getting the item back and inspecting it isn't really worth it, or for products where you get returns that aren't often in sellable condition. So I work with a company who sells electronic products, and what often happens is when they get returned, the box is open, all the bits have been taken out, everything's been fiddled about with, and that's a bit of work to get it back into inventory, if at all. Same with some beauty products, and maybe a customer's broken the seal. Obviously, Amazon shouldn't be accepting returns in this condition, but we all know often they do. So for products like that, it might be better for you to have the customer keep the item and you offer them a slight discount. Of course, the other thing is we need to make sure that customers don't abuse this. I've been asked about that as well, and I don't know what the answer to that is at the moment, but just wanted to make you aware that that is a new option for you. Something I think to look at if you are thinking about implementing partial refunds, or you're not sure whether it's something that you want to, if you go to under Sell Essential, if you go to reports, returns, and then insights, there's a new dashboard. It's called the Returns and Recovery Dashboard, and it brings your FBA and FBM returns together. So you look at everything in one place, and it will show you your total return rates, the top reasons customers are giving for returning products, and trends over time, so you can see whether things are getting better or worse. So I think this is really useful. Or when it also gives you something called a critical review rate alongside the return data. And this is actually useful because if you have a product with a high return rate and a high critical review rate, that tells you there's something genuinely wrong. So does that mean that there's an issue with the product quality? Is the listing not making it clear what it is? Is maybe the packaging not protecting the item in transit? That's a big thing that I had when I used to sell on Amazon. I got a lot of returns because the package just wasn't suitable. And then it gives recommendations based on what the returns numbers are actually telling you. So this is something that's worth checking regularly, because this will help you determine which products you may want to offer a partial refund on and when not. But one caveat, I think, is that customers don't always give accurate return reasons. So take this data as just a starting point, but I still think it's better than having nothing. And by the way, if you don't have this dashboard yet, because I know not everyone will, because things seem to get rolled out to different accounts at different times, you can of course just look at your regular returns reports and get an idea of which products are the most frequently returned. If you sell clothing and footwear, it's worth knowing there's something called Fit Insights, but you need to have sold at least 100 units in the last year to have this. So if you haven't, even if you haven't reached that level of sales, you might not see it. And this basically uses AI to analyze your returns data, your size charts, your customer feedback, and then gives you specific recommendations. So that could also be really useful if you're selling products like that. So that would be something else to have a look at. So another update, gosh, keep coming, don't they? This is something else that's been happening, is that it was announced in June that in the US, the product title was for all products was going to be cut to 75 characters, whereas at the moment it's often much higher depending on the category. So I reported this in an email that you may have received back in June, and I said this was happening just in the US. I've since heard that this might also be rolling out to the UK and other marketplaces, although I can't see anything on Sell Essential that says this. So I don't have a date. It won't be the 27th of July. You would get a little bit of notice, but it is likely to be soon. And what this basically means is that you have 75 characters for your title, and then you have a new field called item highlights, which is 125 characters. And this is meant to be used for materials, use cases, sort of basically any additional detail that you can't fit into that title. What's going to happen is that Amazon are going to do an AI. If you don't do anything before the deadline, and as soon as I hear the UK deadline, I'll let you know. But we're talking about the US specifically now. If you haven't done anything by the 27th of July deadline, Amazon's AI tool will generate a new title and a highlights field for you. And then you have 14 days to review and accept, or review and change it yourself before the changes go live. So I would suggest is definitely, if you're selling in the US, definitely check your titles now. If you've got a big catalogue, prioritise your best sellers. The highlights field is meant to be for additional information. I wouldn't suggest filling it with keywords. I would probably suggest looking at your title now, prioritising what's absolutely key information, what needs to be in the title, because that's going to be visible for customers. As far as I'm aware, the highlights field is something a customer will only see if they click into your listing, but of course it will also count towards SEO. So you're going to have to prioritise. And obviously the titles count more highly towards SEO. So it's a bit tricky, but you're going to basically have to prioritise what's the key information a customer needs to see in the search results and put that into your title and anything else into your highlights field. Something else that's going on, and this is specifically in the UK, is that from the 15th of July, the default 2-day handling time is going to be removed as an option in Seller Central, and the maximum will now be 1 day. So if you sell products that have a handling time, you definitely need to be aware of this. And then from the 1st of September, Amazon is saying they're going to automatically shorten handling times on any SKU where your actual performance is faster than what's stated. So let's say, as default, you say, okay, now I'm going to set everything to a 1-day handling time. If you're dispatching orders same day, Amazon's going to automatically shorten the handling time on those products to, down to 0. So definitely have a look at your handling times now and see if they're accurate. Apparently Amazon are doing it because most sellers are dispatching orders faster than their stated times, but obviously Amazon builds the handling time into what it displays on the product page as to when customers will receive their order. And by the way, remember, this is just related to FBM. So I guess Amazon wants the delivery time to be more accurate and also be more favourable, because most customers would appreciate a shorter delivery. So I believe that's why this is happening. So if you have products that you genuinely cannot dispatch with a 1-day handling time, this is also something to consider. And I don't know what the exact answer to that is. If there's something you want to discuss, definitely come along to my next Amazon Seller Support and Connect call. That is going to be on Thursday, the 3rd of September. It's usually the first Wednesday of every month. We're moving to Thursday for 1 month only. And this is definitely something we can talk through. So other updates. Q4, just so you're aware, Amazon have announced that the Prime Big Deal Days are going to be around the 7th to the 8th of October. And Black Friday will be the 27th of November, with Cyber Monday being obviously the Monday after that. And deal submissions are now already open. So if you were thinking about submitting a deal for then, I know it seems early. I know you're listening to this in August, but if it's something you were planning, you could get your deals submitted now. Although, as I always say, please don't feel that you have to submit deals. You definitely don't need to. And the sort of peak FBA fees, this is where FBA fees increase temporarily, start on the 15th of October, and that runs through until the 14th of January 2027. And from November onwards, Amazon's fulfillment centres, their focus becomes much more outbound orders rather than processing stock that's been sent in. So you really want to make sure your Q4 stock is in as early as possible. I know it seems very early, as I say, it's August now, but I'm letting you know just so you can think about your planning. Because you might want to get ahead of September, because presumably that's when things are going to start getting really, really busy for you. And then I have 2 more updates for you. Gosh, this is a bumper edition. This is in fact 2 months worth of updates if you get my monthly update emails. And of course there might be things I've missed because I'm recording this at the beginning of July. There might be even more things happening this month. And if you come along to Amazon Seller Support and Connect, which is the next one, as I say, is the 3rd of September, then we can see if there's anything else that I've overlooked that we also need to find out about. So, next update, subscribe and save discounts are applying a bit more widely. So from the 23rd of July, top-up orders and one-off reorders now qualify for subscribe and save discounts as well. So previously, if a customer signed up for subscribe and save on one of your products or more than one of your products, and you were offering a subscribe and save discount, the customer will get a discount on those scheduled repeat deliveries. But now, if a customer orders a top-up order or just a one-off reorder of that same product they've signed up for a discount for, they will also still get the discount. So The upside to this, of course, is you might get more purchases. However, if you set your discount, assuming it would only apply to those scheduled deliveries, you might be giving more discounts than you'd planned for, which hopefully won't be anything terrible. But if your margins are really, really tight, or if the discount you're giving is extremely generous, it might just be worth checking and deciding whether you're still comfortable with it or whether there are things that you need to adjust. And then the final thing I want to mention is Amazon's AI shopping tools. Now, I recorded a whole episode on AI shopping tools, which went out last month. As a brief overview, we've now got Rufus available in the UK. We've got Alexa for shopping in the US. Amazon is pulling answers to customers' questions from your own product pages. Do listen to the episode and where I go into this in a lot more detail, because in that episode I explain exactly what you can do now to make sure your listings are still working for you with these new AI tools. As I said, I've just had an Amazon Seller Support and Collect in August. So if you're listening to this in real time, that has just passed. But my next one is Thursday, the 3rd of September. You are always welcome to come along to these calls. I don't know what the topic for that one will be yet. If you have any questions about anything I've covered in this episode or anything else, you are so welcome to bring them along. The format is really relaxed. I give a little update on something that's relevant at the time, just 10-15 minutes, and then I open it up for questions, and you can ask your questions. You can come off mic and you come on the mic, off mute, and ask me a question. You can have your camera off, you can have your camera on. I really don't mind. You can ask questions in the chat. It's all really relaxed, and everyone there is just interested in finding out what's happening on Amazon, get answers to their questions, and hopefully help each other a bit as well. So I really hope this was useful. If you're not already signed up to my mailing list to get my Amazon update email, which gets sent once a month, you only get one email a month with just all of the Amazon updates, you can sign up at vickyweinberg.com. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found this useful. I hope you've learned something new today, and you know where to find me if you have any questions.
Thank you so much for listening right to the end of this episode. Do remember that you can get the full back catalogue and lots of free resources on my website, vickyweinberg.com. Please do remember to rate and review this episode if you've enjoyed it, and also share it with a friend who you think might find it useful. Thank you again, and see you next week. Hello, if you're selling on Amazon or you're planning to and you'd like ongoing support as you go, I've just opened the doors to my membership, Amazon Made Easy. It's a space for product-based business owners who want expert guidance, somewhere to ask questions, and a bit of structure and accountability while they build and grow on Amazon. Inside, you'll get regular live Q&A calls with me, optional co-working sessions, practical resources, and a supportive community of people all working on similar things. It's designed to make selling on Amazon feel clearer, simpler, and much less overwhelming, and to give you somewhere to go where you're stuck or unsure of what to do next. You can join at any time and stay for as long as it's helpful. And if you'd like to take a look, you'll find the full link in the show notes.